Hey everyone, Elizabeth Scala here from Living Sublimely Well. Welcome back to another yoga infused with qigong practice. We're going to be primarily on our mats, obviously, standing, kneeling, sitting, lying down. So we're going to move all around today. As usual, I would recommend if you have a block, a yoga block, to have one or two handy. I also would like to recommend a yoga blanket or something similar. We're going to do a chest opener during Shavasana today. So if you have something similar or you can fold up a blanket of your own, please have that handy. And then a yoga strap. I don't really think we'll be using one today, but just in case you'd like to have one. So gathering your supplies, getting yourself situated in your space. And just before we begin, my medical disclaimers. I am not your healthcare professional. I cannot see you through the screen. You can only see me. So if you have any physical restrictions placed upon you from some sort of healthcare professional, please follow those. And as I say at the start of each practice, honor yourself, honor your physical body, honor your intuition. If there's a pose or posture that sends sharp, fiery, intense shooting pain, back out of such posture and then just sit quietly until we move to the next pose. So just honor your body, do what's within your abilities, what's accessible to you today, and you'll have a beautiful time. All right, we're going to begin in a moment. Let me just think one more thing I wanted to tell you. So I am accepting private clients here at the Living Sublimely Well Yoga Studio, either in person here at the studio or virtually via Zoom, so I can see you and you can see me. Private clients really have the benefit of receiving one-on-one guidance, one-on-one attention, and poses, postures, stretching, and even breathing practices that are tailored specifically to you, your physical needs, your body, your mind, your spirit, where you're showing up in your practice. So please head over to my website, elizabethscala.com/yoga, to take a little check out or look around, I was going to say. The private client offer is towards the bottom of the page, and more up at the top of that page, you'll see I do have group classes happening here at the Living Sublimely Well Yoga Studio. We're about to start our spring session, and I'll be posting the next round of classes here shortly. All right, so let's get to our mats. Coming just to the center of your mat, and really you can rock back one foot to the other, feeling the sole of the foot. Let's stop here from our rocking and maybe rocking forwards and backwards towards the toes and back to the heels, towards the toes and back to the heels. And then again, just kind of side to side. Really feel the whole foot making contact with the mat. Lift up your toes and then see if you can place one toe at a time down back to the mat. So really grounding yourself to the mat, to the surface beneath you. Your feet are hip width distance apart and keeping a slight bend in our knees. Okay, so feeling the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, the sole, the heel, and all sides of the feet. Lift the pelvis, tuck the tailbone, lift the thighs, tuck the tail down the back, lift the shoulders to the ears, and then slide the shoulders down the back. Let the arms hang at the sides with the palms facing forward. Arms are dangling and straight if that's accessible to you. And then tuck the chin in so the crown of the head lifts towards the heavens. Lift the chest, lift that collarbone. Standing here strongly, steadily, grounded in mountain pose, mountain posture. And as we stand here in steadiness, strength. Notice the breath. Breathing in and out of the nose, if you're able to. And if you want, gently resting the eyes or taking a soft gaze here for a moment. The breath guides the practice. Breathing in allows life force to enter the body, and exhaling allows us to let go of what no longer serves. So we will come back to the breath throughout this entire practice. Speaking of the breath, let's inhale, the palms facing up, out wide, bringing the hands overhead, and then exhaling, bringing the palms together to what's called the heart center. Pausing for a moment here, and perhaps setting an intention for your practice in this moment. Perhaps a word, a short phrase, a feeling, the purpose of the practice. What would you like to get out of it? Why are you here? Setting that intention quietly to yourself. Excellent. Let's bring our hands up into goal posts. Open the eyes, keeping the feet hip-width distance apart, slight bends in those knees. Inhaling to open, lift up the chest, send the gaze upwards. And then exhale, closing the forearms together, bringing the chin to the chest. So here's what we look like. Inhaling, lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders, slight back bend, looking up. Exhale, rounding the back, chin to chest, belly buttons to spine. Inhaling to open, lift the chest, drop the shoulders. Exhaling to round, chin to chest, belly button to spine. Keep flowing in this motion, linking your movements to the breath. So seeing if you only will move when you're taking that next breath or when you're exhaling. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to close. Now this time you can stay right here, center, or if you choose, opening to one side. So adding a twist with the spine. And then opening to the opposite side, closing middle. Still inhaling to open and exhaling to close. Inhaling other side, exhaling to close. One more time in each direction if you are twisting. Lovely. Bringing this movement to stillness, dropping the arms, the feet remain hip-width distance apart. Let's slide one hand up, pressing the palm to the sky. The opposite palm presses to the ground. Exhaling through the middle, inhaling to stretch, elongate the side. Exhale and inhale. Exhaling, inhaling to press. Exhaling through the middle, inhaling to press. So see if you can press the palms away from each other. The arms don't necessarily need to become fully straight. It's more about that pressing sensation of the palms away from each other, elongating the side body. One more time in each direction. The last one. Wonderful. Let's take the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, so perhaps mat width distance apart. The feet stay plugged into the mat. The hands are hanging at the sides, the knees are bent. Start twisting at the hips. And when you twist at the hips, the arms just flow around, wrapping back and forth around the body. This is called Willow Tree. So letting the hands really make contact with the body, slapping all over the upper back, the middle back, the low back, around the sits bones and the hips, making contact each time the hands hit the physical body, sort of giving ourselves a little bit of acupressure. Activating energy, awakening the body, bringing that energy up so we can put it into good use. Excellent, yogis. Maybe even twisting a little more vigorously here. Really making contact, perhaps bringing the arm up over the shoulder, tapping yourselves on the back, saying, good job, me, for taking care of myself today. Lovely. Let's bring this to stillness, getting the body nice and warm. What we're going to do now is we're going to step one foot forward and the other foot's going to be behind. The back foot, the heel remains plugged into the mat. The front leg is going to bend and straighten. Now, you want to find your appropriate foot placement. You never want the knee to bend further than your toes. You want the knee, when you bend, to come right over the ankle. So you're going to have to play around with finding your foot placement. Once you have the foot placement you like, hands come to your hips. The hips come to the short side of your mat. And go ahead and bend the front knee and then straighten. And bend the front knee and straighten. We can add the arms to flow with this as well. So inhaling, pushing the arms forward, exhaling them back. Inhaling, bend the knee, push the arms, exhaling, straighten the leg, arms come back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Wonderful. Keep moving at the pace of your breath. All right, let's bring this to stillness. Take our hands to our hips. Lift that back heel. So only the ball of the foot, the toes are in the back leg. What we're going to do now is bend both knees and then straighten both legs. Bending both knees and straighten. Bend and straighten. Keeping that heel up behind you. Bend and straighten. The hips becoming nice and warm. Warming the legs. Continuing at your own pace. This is also a balanced posture, so keeping your eyes on a focal point so that you can stay balanced as you bend and straighten. One more time. Excellent. Let's have that back leg meet the front. And now send the opposite leg to the back, this time keeping that heel plugged into the mat. Find your leg placement for when we do the bent knee in the front. You want the bent knee over the ankle. So bending and straightening. Bending and straightening. Keeping that back heel down, adding the arms. Exhaling back. Inhaling forwards. Exhaling back. Inhaling. Exhale. Wonderful, yogis. You are doing great here. Love it. All right, let's bring this to stillness. Hands come to the hips. Lift that back heel so only the ball of the foot, the toes are on the ground. And then both knees bend, both straighten. Both are bending, both legs are straightening. Finding that focal point, something you can stare at, a drishti, so that you can practice balancing and staying steady when the knees are bent. Feeling that heat, warming those legs. Excellent. Last time. And take that back leg, meet the front. All right, take your legs to the long side of the mat. Your hips are square to the long side of your mat. Take one foot, and I'll say our left leg here. Left leg with the left toes pointed up to the short side of the mat. The right leg, the foot is faced forwards towards the long side of the mat where the hips are as well. So the heel from this left leg is coming in a straight line to the instep of that right leg. Again, you want to find your placement because we're going to bend our knee and we want our knee over our ankle. So hands come to hips. Hips are square to the long side of the mat. Bending and straightening. Bending and straightening. Excellent. Drop your shoulders. Lift the chest. Strong core. Belly button is engaged. Remembering to breathe in and out of the nose. Wonderful. 2 more times this side. Last one. Let's flip it around. So turn the toes from the left foot in towards the long side of the mat. Take the toes from the right foot and take them to the short side of the mat. The right heel is drawing a straight line to that left instep. Hands come to hips. Hips are square to our long side of the mat. Bending and straightening at the knee. Ensuring that your knee does not come past your ankle. Lifting the chest. Bringing that belly button towards the spine. Keeping the whole body engaged. Remembering to breathe. Wonderful job, yogis. All right, last time. Okay, let's take our toes, turn the right toes in. And now let's actually have both toes kind of towards the corners of the mat so the toes are out and the heels are a bit in. The legs are going to be straight, but careful not to lock those knees. So you can have a slight bend. Taking your hands so the arms are straight and the palms are pressed as if pressing against the walls. We're going to just tilt from the torso and lean to the side and lean to the other side. So you're taking the rib cage, the torso, your abdomen, and just tilting to the side. Keeping that strong core so the belly button is tucked towards the spine. Remembering to breathe. Lots going on. Excellent. One more time in each direction. Beautiful. Dropping the hands. Since we're here, having your feet continue to remain a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. The toes can remain a little bit turned outwards. We're going to bend the knees, and we're actually going to take one forearm to, we're going to take our hands to our thighs, and we're going to take our shoulder and turn to the middle. And then come back up to center, and the other shoulder turns towards the middle. Coming to center. Dip the shoulder, lift up, dip the shoulder, lift up. This time we're going to hold and breathe. So dip your shoulder, press the palms into the thighs, elongate the spine, breathing here in this standing twist, continuing to breathe, sending the breath to where you feel the body. Excellent. Coming back up to center and other side. Holding here. Several breaths, using your hands to press into your thighs. Stretching through the neck, through that back. All right, lifting up. Let's heel toe ourselves back to center. Taking a qigong move here for some fun. I like to call this the skier pose. We've had a little bit of wintry white weather where I am living, so I'm Feeling my skiing energy. So swinging your arms forward, you bend your knees. Then you bend your knees again as you swing the arms back. So inhaling forward, exhaling to the back. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. One more time. And letting all of that settle. So just coming to feet are hip width distance apart. Let the hands dangle at your sides. Tuck the tail. Close the eyes. Lift the chest. Crown reaches towards the heavens. Standing in mountain posture as we started the practice. And just noticing any tingling, heat, energy, vibrations. Just paying attention to the physical body. Wonderful. If your eyes were closed, blinking those open, let's take our feet again, wider than hip width distance apart. Toes are turned out slightly, heels are in slightly. Grabbing one wrist. So we're going to exhale ourselves through the middle, and then we're going to inhale ourselves up and turn to the side. Exhaling, bending the knees, deeply bending. Inhaling, turning to the opposite side. Exhaling through the middle, dropping down, inhaling up. Exhaling down, inhaling, turn and lift. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, in. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. Keep moving at the pace of your breath. Really getting down low, moving the body, making big circles, lifting and turning. One more time in each direction. Excellent. Letting this go. We're going to move into some sun salutes here with warrior poses in a moment, but before we do, shaking out an arm, shaking out another arm, shaking out the shoulders, let the chest shake, shaking out the hips, picking up one leg and shaking out, picking the other, up and down with the knees, shaking, shaking, whole body shake, whole body shake. I don't want my hair to fall out. If it falls out, it falls out. Laugh and play. Be silly and having fun. All right. Before we move to those sun salutes, hands come to the hips. Let's just make some circles with the hips in one direction. Warming the lower back and the hips. And the opposite direction. Wonderful, yogis. You are doing beautifully. Love it. Okay. So come to the top of your mat. Feet are hip width distance apart, as usual. Let's see, I want to show you. I'm going to show you, maybe I can go diagonal with this and show you that way. All right. You can see the front as well as what's happening. Okay, to the top of our mats. Inhaling the hands up and overhead. Exhaling, the palms move away from each other. Lead with the chest, flat back, down into a forward fold. Inhale, take the hands to the shins, lift up the shoulders, gaze down at the mat with a flat back. Exhale, drop the head, let it hang heavy for forward fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the shoulders, look down at your mat, hands come to your shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, let the head hang heavy. Now, step the left foot back and turn the left foot inwards so the right heel is drawing that line to the left instep, raising yourself up. Hips are on the long side of the mat. Arms are straight and out either side, looking over your right fingertips. Bring the shoulders up near your ears and then drop them down the back. Warrior two. Breathing here for a couple breaths. Taking the left hand back to the outer left thigh, reaching the right hand in the air, straight arm, looking up at the right hand. Breathing here in Dancing Warrior. Hands come back to Warrior two. Arms are straight, looking out over the right fingertips. Bringing the right forearm to the right thigh, cartwheeling the left arm in the front, lifting it up and gazing up at that left elbow, inner elbow. There's a line of energy from the fingertips all the way to the outside of the foot, an extended side angle. Couple breaths, keep breathing here. Breathe to where you feel the body. All right, letting that arm cartwheel in front of the body, lifting back up into Warrior two. Taking the toes of this bent leg and turning them inwards. Both legs are straight, hands come to the hips. Lift up through the chest, hinge at your hips, leading with the chest, flat back until you can't go any further, and then round down, letting the head hang heavy in wide-legged forward fold. You can keep your hands to the mat, to your yoga blocks if you can't reach the mat, or alternatively, you can grab opposite elbow in opposite hand. Release the neck, nod your head yes, shake your head no. Let the crown of the head drop towards the mat. Breathe into the back side of the body. Take the hands released if they were dangling. Bring them to the legs. Walk the hands up the legs as you round up the back. Turn that heel of the right foot back into center as we started in Warrior two, and bring the back leg up to meet the front. Inhale the hands overhead and exhale back to heart center. We're going to take the other side. Let me move this. So being at the top of your mat, the front of your mat, your feet are hip-width distance apart. Inhale the hands overhead. Exhaling the palms away from each other, leading with the chest, forward fold. Inhale, take the hands to the shins, lift the shoulders, looking down at your mat with a flat back. Exhaling, round down into forward fold. Inhaling, hands to shins, lift up, flat back. Exhaling into forward fold. Taking your hands up to your hips and sending the right foot back. The left foot is forward, the left knee is bent, and that left heel is drawing a line to the instep of the right foot. Our hips are to the long side of the mat, and lift our arms up into Warrior two. Let's turn the palms up so we drop the shoulders down the back, and then turn the palms down. Breathing here, several breaths in Warrior two. Your gaze is past your left fingertips. Take that right hand to the outside of the right thigh. The left hand soars up towards the heavens, looking up to the left hand, peaceful warrior. Keep breathing into the physical body. Letting the hands come back into warrior two. Taking the left forearm to the left thigh, cartwheeling the right arm in front of the body and bringing that right arm straight overhead, looking up into the inside of the right elbow. There is a straight line, a line of energy from the right fingertips all the way to the outside of the right foot. Keep breathing, bringing breath to body. All right, cartwheel that arm in front, lift back up into warrior two arms. Let's take our hands to our hips, straighten that leg, and turn the toes inwards. So now toes are inwards, heels are out. Lift through the chest, leading with the chest, start hinging at the hips. So you're folding with a flat back, and then eventually when you can't fold anymore that way, rounding down, hands come to the mat, to your blocks, or to grasping opposite elbows. See if you can, if you're grasping elbows, grasp the opposite direction. So whatever hand feels more naturally in the front, do the opposite. Let the head hang heavy. Release the neck. The crown of the head drops towards the mat. Deep breaths into the back side of the body. Let's take our hands to our legs. Walk the hands up the legs as you round up through the back. Turn those left toes towards the front of the mat and bring the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale the hands up overhead and exhale them to heart center. Beautiful. So that was one variation of sun salute with some warrior two postures. Let's go ahead and we're going to move our way down towards our mats. We're going to come to hands and knees here in a moment. Let's inhale the hands up overhead, exhaling the palms away from each other, lead with the chest into a forward fold. From here, take one foot, step it back, and then bring that knee to the mat. So if your knee has trouble, you can double the mat, you can roll the mat underneath you, or you can place a blanket to where your knee is resting, okay? So one knee is to the mat, the other foot is bent, the knee is over the ankle, the hands come to the hips. This is called low lunge. Breathing here, lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders, squaring your hips to the front side of the mat. Beautiful. From here, take your hands to square your foot and then tuck the toes, lifting that knee off the mat. Come back up, hands to hips. If you'd like to stay with the knee to the floor, that's perfectly fine. This is more of a balancing posture. So lifting that chest, dropping those shoulders, squaring the hips to the front of the mat. Breathing here, finding a focal point, balancing. Very good, yogis. Beautiful. Bring our hands to square and frame that foot. The back foot comes to meet the front. Swooping our arms out, reversing our swine dive, lifting up, hands come overhead, exhaling to heart center. We'll do that with the other side. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, reverse your swan dive. Inhale, bringing the hands to the shins, lift up to a flat back. Exhale to forward hold. The opposite foot comes back and drop the knee onto the mat. The top of the foot releases to the mat. Lift up, hands come to hips, remembering your knee is over your ankle. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest. Breathe. Keep on breathing. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Beautiful, yogis. Let's bring our hands to frame our foot. Lift those toes if you like. Hands come back to hips. Drop your shoulders. lift your chest. Keep breathing. Balancing here, so find a focal point to keep those eyes locked in on. Drop the hands to frame the foot. Bring the back foot up to meet the front. Reverse our swan dive upwards. Hands come overhead, exhaling down to heart center. Very good, yogis. We're going to make our way to seated now. So inhaling the hands up, exhaling forward fold. Inhaling the hands to the shins, lifting up to that flat back. Exhaling to forward fold. Take one foot back behind us. Take the other foot back behind us, coming into a plank-like posture. Drop the knees, and then let yourself rest to your hips, coming into a seated posture. Beautiful. So let me see. I'm going to turn myself back to center. We're going to finish up here in a moment. But before we do, let's bring the soles of the feet together, really grounding those sits bones into the mat. You can take your arms and even press the elbows into the knees. Lift up through the chest. Exhale with a flat back. Lift through the chest. Exhale with that flat back. And then one more time, lift and rounding down. Letting the hands come to the feet, the ankles, the shins, wherever you can find contact. Keep breathing into the back side of the body in butterfly posture. Breathe into where you feel the sensations. And with your inhale, press your hands up the legs, coming back to seated. Very good. Let's extend one leg long. Take the other foot and bring it to the outside of that extended leg's thigh. Take the hand that's on the side of the bent leg, wrap it around the leg, and then this other hand with the straight leg side comes just outside and behind the hip, coming to the mat. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, twist towards your shoulder. Inhaling, lift through the spine, elongate the spine. Exhaling to twist and look over the shoulder. Inhaling, lengthen, lift the crown of the head to the sky. And with each exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. Gently and slowly unwinding. Switching elongated feet, leg, switching bent leg, arm wraps around the bent knee, other hand comes just outside the hips. That long leg, the foot is flexed, inhaling to lift up and exhaling to begin twisting. Inhaling to lift the crown of the head towards the sky, exhaling, twisting a little deeper. Inhaling, lift, elongate through the back. Exhaling, exploring the edge of your twist. Keep breathing, linking breath with physical body. Gently and easefully unwinding. Lovely. All right, get your blanket nearby. We're going to be using that in a moment. Let the feet be long with a bend in the knee. Take your hands behind your thighs and start rocking yourself up and down. Making the rocking bigger each time you get down to the back. Rocking eventually, if you like, all the way to the shoulders. Massaging the spine vertically up and down. All right, one more big rock, and then we're going to flatten out, lying down on our backs. Let the feet go long. And now hugging the knees into the chest, we just rocked vertically. Now let's rock what I would say horizontally, or just rock side to side. Bringing this to stillness, releasing the arms from the legs, letting the feet drop to the mat. Before we move into our final relaxation, let's take banana pose. So let the feet extend long, and the arms are going to be lifted overhead. Now you're making contact with the entire back side of your body. There is no rolling onto your side with this posture. You're going to remain on the back. Lift the feet and displace them towards the left. So the ankles get displaced towards the left corner of the mat. Then lift the chest and displace the shoulders to the top left side of the mat. So your body should be shaped in the C curve or as a banana. You can think of a crescent moon. But the whole body, the back side of the body, is making contact with the mat. You can cross one ankle over the other if you like, and then you can grab one wrist in the opposite hand. Again, the back is remaining flat to the mat. Breathing here into the side body. Lovely. Uncross the ankles if they were, release the hand and wrists if they are. Square yourself back to center before we take the other side. So the whole back side of the body is making contact with the mat. Go ahead and lift the feet, displacing them to the right towards that right corner of the mat. Lift the chest, displace the upper back to the right side. And again, you can cross one ankle over the other if you like. Grab the opposite wrist in the hand if you like. But remember, the backs of your arms, your shoulder blades, your sits bones, the whole back of your legs, your heels, the back side of your body is making contact with the mat. Breathe into where you feel those sensations. Beautiful job, yogis. All right, release the ankles, release your wrists, lift back up into center. Let's just bring our feet up in the air before we rest in corpse pose. Point and flex the toes. Open the legs, scissor kicking, crossing one leg in front of the other. And then kicking forwards and backwards. Doing bicycle legs. Pedal the opposite way. Backwards on your bike. All right. Shake out the ankles. Whatever final movements you'd like to find before dropping your feet and extending them long. Now, here's where we're going to use our blanket. So before you get all the way into Shavasana, find your blanket. You're going to put the blanket right at the base of your back. So the blanket makes contact with your sits bones, with your seat, right at the bottom of your back. Then you're going to lie down the length of the blanket. The spine is along the length of the blanket. Open the arms out wide. Let the toes, pinky toes, flop to the corners of the mat. And gently rest the eyes. Having the blanket in this way for Shavasana should allow you to explore a nice chest opener. Breathing into the physical body. Breathing here in stillness and being with the breath for the next several moments. You can stay resting in Shavasana as long as you so choose. Otherwise, if you're prepared to begin moving, starting to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, letting the feet flop from one side to the other, making small circles at the wrists, allowing these physical movements to grow, just listening to honoring your body, stretching or moving however it needs. Bending the legs, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat, and allowing the legs to flop to the right side, rolling over onto your right side. Cradling your head in the right arm. And you can stay here as long as you need. When you're ready, using your hands to press yourself back up into a seated posture, keeping the eyes gently rested if you're able to. Noticing the physical body and reconnecting with the intention, that message you gifted to yourself at the start of the practice. Check in with that intention now, repeating it mentally, and perhaps committing to sending that intention throughout the rest of your day. Dropping the hands to the sides, letting them dangle, And with the palms faced up, inhaling the hands out wide and overhead, letting the palms come together, exhaling the hands down to the heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me here today. It has been an honor and pure joy to facilitate this yoga practice. Namaste. Well, thank you, dear yogis. As I said, it's always a joy. It's always super fun. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And if you'd love to join me in a class in the Living Sublimely Well Yoga Studio, you certainly can do so. The link is in the comments. And as I said at the start of the practice, I'm also accepting private clients that I can really honor where you're at, meet your needs individually, and tailor yoga, qigong, breath work, and mantra to you as an individual. So be well, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are with this practice. If you're going straight to bed, rest well. If you're going straight to work, work well. Just carry this yogic energy with you throughout your travels. And we will see you next time.